There are over 10,000 speed games on speedrun.com. A lot of them have several versions, and with several versions, there are bound to be differences. In this video, I'll go through pretty much everything you need to know about the versions of Jak 1 in terms of speedrunning. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, I want to talk about the main reason that differs the versions from each other. There is one skip in the game that isn't possible on every version. It's called the Citadel skip V1, and as the name implies, you skip Golem Maya Citadel pretty much completely. The skip looks like this. What you just saw is the fastest method of doing Citadel skip. You make the game think it's paused for a few seconds by hitting R2 or L2 and start on the same frame. During that time, you go through the cutscene that would play and die. Due to a flagging error in the game's programming, the game gives you the checkpoint which is at the top of Citadel, allowing us to skip the entirety of the level. It is used in the optimal route of every category except for no major skips. This skip isn't possible on every version of the game, even out of the ones that are known for having it. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to test your version the easy way, which doesn't require pause buffers or anything difficult at all. I'll count this as a version just to talk about it. Emulator is banned for runs due to several reasons, such as instability. You're of course allowed to practice on an emulator, but unless you have a PC that can run it on consistent 100% and you can use the same controller, I wouldn't recommend it, because you don't want to create false muscle memory for actual runs. The PlayStation Vita version is very unstable as well, but running on it is allowed. There's also a glitch in this version known as the punch glitch, where the game redirects your punch to a direction you don't really have control over. It happens in certain spots. They are avoidable, but still are a real pain. I link the Rixer's video on it in the description. The controls are pretty bad and the frame rate is awful. You cannot do lava tube skip on it because rocket uppercut at the start of the skip isn't possible. It's generally not recommended to do runs on it at all. Citadel skip is not possible on Vita. I'm not gonna separate digital and physical copies because this is not the most optimal version to run on. The PS3 version runs at a consistent frame rate but has very slow loads. Here is a very lazy comparison comparing time it takes to save and load to PS2. The PlayStation 3 version is definitely something you can run on, but it can't compete with PS2 even in no major skips. You load a lot and therefore lose a lot of time. The PS3 version also contains punch glitch as well. Citadel skip is not possible on PS3. Even though NTSC and PAL are equally optimal to run the game, the later NTSC version, Red Label, had stuff from the original release patched. The Red Label version does not include Citadel skip, but is fully optimal for no major skips. That's pretty much all I have to say about Red Label. The recently released PS4 version surprised the community because you can actually do Citadel skip on it. The PS4 version has instant loads in many places and everything loads faster in general. It still has several issues at the time I'm making this video, which is why I'm not putting it as the most optimal version. Those issues involve random crashes, frame rate issues, and inverted camera compared to the original game. Some of these have already been patched, but new issues keep coming up, like consistent hard locks on certain cutscenes. The inverted camera doesn't affect new runners, but experienced runners of the game are used to the camera being inverted instead of default, since muscle memory is a thing. In reality, it's an optimal version to run on even with its issues, since it's fast and has Citadel skip. The very original release of the game is considered the most optimal version to run on. It can do every skip in the game and is as stable as it gets. Most of Black Label and Platinum versions can do Citadel skip. The reason I say most is because some versions can't do it for some reason. It is highly recommended to get the Black Label or the Platinum version when you are looking to speedrun the game. It's very easy to test your version. Testing is needed only on Black Label and Platinum versions, since every other version either works or doesn't by default. All you need to do is make your way to Citadel, watch the first cutscene, pause, and save and load. If it puts you up top, your version is viable for all categories. Here's a video on that just to show it.
Robot, before they use it to destroy the world.
That should cover up everything about the versions. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If any of this information changes, I'll put it in the description, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.